I hit refresh like a rat hitting a lever. We had a thread titled, "Local Hero Gets What He Deserves," and someone had dumped a face pic, a LinkedIn, a blurry plate. People joked, people cheered, a couple of nons typed, "Don't do it," and got drowned in memes. I should have closed it right there. Instead, I scrolled with my thumb like it was a slot machine. Opie kept dropping proof in bursts, screenshots, little red circles, timestamps, like he was feeding a dog. The comments moved so fast you couldn't breathe between them. Somebody posted, "He's in your town," with a map pin. I laughed because of course I did. It felt fake. It felt like the usual internet flexing where nobody leaves their chair. Then Opie posted my town street grid. Not a vague county map, not some random Google screenshot. It had the weird dead end behind the strip mall, the crooked one-way by the library, the same grid I drive every day. A pin sat on it like a nail. My laugh died in my throat. I tried to tell myself it was still bullshit until someone dumped his mom's number. Then they dumped property records. Then a new reply showed a photo of his car in a parking lot taken from inside another car, windshield glare and all. That's when my phone vibrated with an unknown text. "You in 117? My zip code, half censored like a tease." Another message popped. "Watch him today. No name, no emoji, just that." I blocked it. A second number hit me 2 minutes later. "Check your work, huh?" My hands went cold so fast, I fumbled the phone. I wasn't even special. I was just a warm body they could poke to see if I'd flinch. The worst part is I knew the guy. Not personally. Work known. Same building, different apartment. One of those people who talks loud in hallways like the place belongs to him. I'd seen his hero clip on Facebook the week before. Him in a company polo, chest out, acting like he saved the world outside a convenience store. People in town had eaten it up. Comments like "so proud," like he was a mascot. In the thread, they turned that clip into evidence. They froze frames, zoomed on hands, circled faces in the background. One anon kept posting he hurt someone and got praised for it. And the crowd ran with it because crowds love a simple story. A couple people typed "stop" and got buried under "huh" and "do it yourself then." It was a feeding frenzy pretending it was justice. At work, I tried to act normal. I failed. I kept checking the window, then the thread, then my phone like I was watching 2 different storms line up. Rico from shipping caught me and swung his screen at my face with a grin. Same thread, same app. I told him to put that shit away. He smirked and said I was being a bitch about it. He said, if the guy's a creep, he deserves it. Like that sentence solved everything. I asked him if he'd go do anything in real life. He shrugged. Nah, but somebody will. That made me feel dirtier than a thread. The casual way he said it, like he was talking about rain. I walked straight to my supervisor and tried to say it out loud. There's an online thread. They're doxing someone here. People are talking like they're coming. My supervisor stared at me like I'd told him aliens were in the break room. He asked why I was on that site. He asked if I was involved. His tone flipped from bored to suspicious in one breath. I felt my face burn. I said I wasn't involved. I said I'd just seen it. I said we should at least tell security. He told me to focus on my work and stop bringing internet drama into the building. He said if I kept starting rumors, it would become an HR issue. He wasn't protecting anyone. He was protecting his own day. So I went to HR myself. The receptionist looked up, already annoyed, and I started rambling because my mouth couldn't find clean word for something this ugly. I pulled up the thread, held my phone out. She barely glanced. She told me they can't act on anonymous posts. She told me if I had a direct threat, call the police. She said the word anonymous like it meant harmless. Security was worse. The guard at the lobby desk didn't even look away from his monitor. He asked if I'd been hacked. I said no, it's a doxing thread. Someone is feeding real-time details. He snorted and told me to stop reading that 4chan shit. Like the danger came from my eyes, not from the people behind the posts. I went back to my desk, shaking with that stupid, trapped feeling, like I tried every door and they all opened into the same room. Late morning, he walked in, coffee in hand. Same grin from the LinkedIn photo, like his face had been copy-pasted into the thread. He passed my row, and I felt my stomach drop because I remember my laugh on page 1. I wanted to grab him by the sleeve and haul him into a stairwell and tell him to get the fuck out of town for a few days. Instead, I sat there, frozen, watching him disappear into the elevator with his stupid confidence. The thread shifted from doxing to timing. He's at work. He parks by the dumpster. He leaves at 5. People argued about what to do, like they were planning a prank, not someone's life. One and on kept posting, "Don't touch him, just scare him," and another replied, "Nah, make it permanent." That line sat in my head like a nail. I called the non-emergency number anyway. I hated myself the whole time. The dispatcher asked for my name. I gave it because I'm not brave enough to even be anonymous. I explained what I was seeing. She asked if anyone had shown up. No. She asked if I'd heard a specific threat. I read the "watch him today" text out loud and felt ridiculous. She said they'd note it. She said if something happens, call 911. Like danger politely waits for paperwork. Around 4, my phone buzzed again from new number. "You see him? Then don't be a pussy." I looked up from my monitor and realized how easy it would be for someone in the building to be doing this. Someone close enough to watch, close enough to feed the thread real details. That thought made my skin crawl. I started scanning faces, coworkers, random delivery guys, anybody lingering. Everyone looked normal. That's the trick. Monsters at work still clock in. Rico cornered me by the vending machines and asked if I told anyone. He wasn't joking now. His voice went sharp. He said I was going to get someone in trouble. I snapped back that someone was already in trouble, whether we admitted it or not. We argued in that low, ugly way people do when they don't want witnesses. He called me paranoid. I called him a coward. He said I was overreacting to internet bullshit. I told him internet bullshit doesn't text my phone with my zip code. He went quiet for a second, like that landed. Then he laughed it off anyway, because laughing is easier than being scared. At 5, the guy left. I watched from the window, heart hammering. No crowd, no Musk, just him walking to his car, keys swinging. He drove off like it was any other day. For a few minutes, I actually believed it was over. Like the thread would get bored and move on to the next target. On my drive home, I kept seeing headlights in my mirror and turning down random streets like I was shaking a tail. I hated myself for it, but I did it anyway. I got home and checked the lock twice, then a third time. My phone stayed face down on the table like it could bite. Then my street filled with sirens. Not on a stream, not on a post. Real, outside my apartment, echoing off brick. I stood at my window and watched red and blue flash down the block toward the main road. I opened the thread with shaking hands. People were posting done, and he's not so brave now. Hope he didn't post details. Nobody posted a body. Just celebration, like they'd all won something together. The next morning, the thread got archived. The guy didn't show up again. HR called it an incident. No name, no explanation, just that sterile word like it was a spill on the floor. They pulled me into a small conference room and asked why my phone number was getting attention. That's how they said it, like I'd applied for it. I told them about the texts. I showed them the messages. The HR rep frowned like she was doing math, then asked if I'd responded or engaged. When I said no, she told me to stop visiting websites that attract harassment. I wanted to laugh. I wanted to throw something. They were treating it like a behavior problem, like my curiosity had summoned it. Rico wouldn't look me in the eye after that. My supervisor told everyone to keep it professional and threatened write-ups for gossip. The building went quiet in that fake corporate way, where everyone pretends nothing happened while their eyes keep sliding to the doors. In the bathroom, I heard 2 guys whisper that the hero got jumped near his apartment. Another said it was a carjacking. Another said it was nothing and he just quit. Nobody knew. Everybody had a version. I kept thinking about the countdown, the map pin, the way strangers turn a human being into a button to press. And I kept thinking about my first laugh, my first refresh, my stupid little click sitting in that pile like a fingerprint. I slammed my laptop shut when the file finished downloading, then opened it again because I'm a weak piece of shit. The X thread wasn't a creepypasta vibe. It was receipts, coordinates, timestamps, photos with the same stupid hand sign. OP kept posting updates like he was reporting weather. People in the comments turned it into a sport. One camp screamed, "Fake." The other camp acted like this was field research. The worst ones just kept poking, "Prove it, pussy, go back, do the mirror thing," like they were trying to push a stranger into traffic for entertainment. I told myself I was only watching, but every refresh made my jaw tighten. I hated them and still let them steer me. OP's kit list dropped like a commandment. Mirror, salt, cheap disposable camera. Not sage, not a cross, not a gun. A mirror, salt, and something that records without a screen. Somebody posted an old screenshot about film doesn't blink. Somebody else said salt locks the edge. I typed one question, why a mirror? And immediately got hit with lurker, bitch, stop stalling. That pissed me off in a way that didn't make sense, like a bunch of faceless strangers had just tested me. I rolled my eyes, then I screenshot the instructions anyway. That's how it got me. I didn't believe it, I just couldn't stand not knowing. The coordinates were an hour out. An abandoned roadside motel with a drained pool and a lobby full of wet carpet stink. I kept thinking if I don't go, I'm the same kind of coward I laugh at. That's not brave. That's ego. But ego drives you just as hard as fear. I went to a 24-hour grocery store and bought the cheapest mirror on the shelf, a cylinder of table salt, and a disposable camera from a pharmacy like I was shopping for a stupid party prank. The cashier didn't care. I did. My hand shook so much I dropped my card once, then acted like it was normal. In the car, I refreshed the thread again. Posted heading in. The comments lit up. It felt like being inside a crowd that wanted blood. The motel sat off a side road that didn't have real streetlights. My headlights hit the sign first. Letters missing, half the name erased, then the building itself squat and dead. Windows busted, doors hanging open. The pool was a green rectangle packed with leaves. I sat in my car for a full minute and argued with myself, out loud, like that would change anything. Then my phone buzzed. Opie posted a photo of a room number, 12. Mirror on the bed, he wrote, like it was a damn IKEA manual. I walked the outdoor corridor with a mirror under my arm, salt in my pocket, camera in my hand. Gravel crunched. A loose door banged somewhere inside, and the sound carried too far, like the place amplified every little mistake. I found room 12 because the paint still clung to the door. The lock was gone. The door swung when I touched it. Inside smelled like mildew and old cigarettes that never left. Mattress sagged, curtains torn, a dead TV bolted to the wall. The carpet squished under my shoes like it was still holding water from years ago. I kept telling myself, it's just rot, it's just nerves, don't be dramatic. And then I did exactly what the thread told me to do, because I'm not as in control as I pretend. I set the mirror face up on the bed. I poured salt around it in a thick line, clumsy, like a kid drawing a circle with chalk. I pulled the disposable camera up and started snapping. Flash, click, flash, click. The room jumped bright, then dropped back into dim. The first shots were nothing, bed, walls, my own stupid shadow. I checked my phone and saw people yelling at Opie for going quiet. One guy spammed, "Stop playing." Another wrote, "If you leave, you're next." I typed "shut up" and got told to post my own chords if I was so tough. It made me furious, and that anger pushed me to keep shooting instead of walking out. I snapped toward the bathroom. Flash. For a fraction of a second, something blocked the light in the corner near the shower, like a tall shape standing where the tile met the curtain. When the flash died, the corner looked empty again. I swallowed hard and snapped again because my brain did that thing where it tries to force the scary thing to hold still. Flash. The dark shape looked closer, not clearer, just closer, like it moved between blinks. My hand started shaking so hard the camera rattled. I tried to laugh at myself, but it came out thin. I forced another shot, and the flash lit the mirror on the bed. That's when the room shifted in my head. The mirror wasn't reflecting from where I stood. It showed the room from slightly higher, like the viewpoint of someone behind me. My reflection sat wrong in it, a little delayed, like it didn't match the muscles in my face. I stared and my skin prickled because the mirror made my shoulders look narrower, like something was crowding the frame. I felt breath at the back of my neck. Not warm, not cold, just pressure like air pushed through teeth. I didn't turn. I couldn't. My body went stiff and angry at the same time, like it wanted to spin and swing. The camera clicked without me meaning to, my finger jerking. The flash went off, and I saw a smear behind me in the mirror. No face, just a suggestion of head and shoulders, like a person shaped out of bad film. I dropped the camera. It bounced and skittered under the bed. The sound snapped me loose. I crouched and grabbed it, scraping my knuckles, and as I pulled it back out, the mirror's angle shifted a hair, like somebody touched the mattress. That did it. I bolted. I ran out into the corridor, tripped on broken concrete, went down hard, and shredded both palms on gravel and glass. Pain flared bright and clean. I got up swearing and kept moving because the fear had teeth now. My phone kept buzzing in my pocket with threat updates. I hated that I still cared. I hated that my thumbs still went for the screen while I ran. When I hit my car, my hands were slick with blood and grit. I fumbled my keys, dropped them, cursed louder, grabbed them, jammed them into the ignition. In the rearview mirror, I caught the second-floor walkway and saw a figure standing there, too still to be someone watching me, too upright to be a shadow. I didn't wait to confirm. I floored it and threw gravel. I drove with the cabin light on like that could keep something from forming in the back seat. At a red light, I glanced at my phone and almost vomited. A user who wasn't Opie had posted a photo taken from inside a car, my car. Same cracked trim on the dash. Same stupid air freshener. The angle was from the back seat looking forward at me, like someone sat behind me and snapped it with flash. The caption read, "Don't drive angry." I pulled into a gas station and checked the back seat like an idiot, like I'd find a person hiding there. Empty. I checked the trunk. Empty. I stood under fluorescent lights with blood on my hands and felt my brain trying to bargain. Maybe it's a troll. Maybe someone guessed. Maybe it's coincidence. But there were too many little details. My car was in that photo like it had been tagged. I drove home anyway because home felt like a rule, like walls had authority. In my building's hallway, the air smelled like someone's fried food and laundry soap. Normal. I wanted to hug it. Then I saw my doormat shifted a few inches like someone had nudged it. I told myself I was imagining patterns. I unlocked the door, flicked on every light, and walked room to room with my heart hammering. Nothing. Just my apartment, my mess, my quiet. I threw the disposable camera on the counter and stared at it for a long time. Part of me wanted to smash it. Part of me needed to see the prints. That's the sick loop. Fear and proof feeding each other. I took it to a pharmacy the next morning. The clerk took it without a blink. I came back hours later and got an envelope like it was a normal errand. I opened it in my car with my breath held. The first prints were the motel, the bed, the salt, the mirror, the bathroom corner. In one shot, the flash caught that tall, dark blockage again, sharper now like a body made of missing light. In another, the mirror showed that wrong high angle, and behind my head was that smear like the film couldn't decide what it saw. I kept flipping, and my phone kept buzzing like it knew I was looking. The thread wasn't dead, not even close. People were still demanding proof from Opie, still laughing, still daring each other. One post hit right as my hand started to sweat again. Show the exit. Another. Show the door. Like they were giving orders through my screen. Then I hit the last photo, and my stomach just dropped. It wasn't the motel. It was my front door. My actual front door, with the scratch near the peephole and the half-peeled sticker I never bothered to remove. The picture was taken from the hallway, straight on, like someone stood there and pointed the camera at my place. The disposable prints came back, and one of them had my front door in it. Taken from the hallway. Taken after I left the motel. I posted a photo of my setup, monitor glow, cables, dumb energy drink, just to flex a little. 10 minutes later, some anon replied with my neighborhood, then my building style, then the exact store down the street because of a reflection in my window. I laughed once like an idiot, then I zoomed in and my stomach sank. The glass behind my monitor wasn't black. It had a tiny slice of the street, a sign edge, the angle of a roof, a smear of fluorescent from that corner shop I hit when I'm too lazy to cook. I deleted the post like that mattered. Nuke the account, clear my history, log out of everything, then log back in just to change the passwords again because I didn't trust my own hands. The thread kept moving without me, like my panic was the real content. An archive link appeared anyway. Then a second thread popped up. Op lives alone, like it was a fucking game show. It wasn't even clever, just cruel. They listed my first name, not my last, just enough to tell me they were in my pockets. Someone dug up an old forum profile I forgot existed and posted screenshots of me talking about my city years ago. I watched strangers stitch my life together out of crumbs I didn't remember dropping. Then somebody wrote, casually, check his trash day. That line didn't feel like internet shit talk. That was a person thinking about my building, my bins, my schedule. I pictured hands in gloves, tearing open bags, pulling out mail, receipts, empty pill bottles, anything with my address on it. I sat there staring at my kitchen trash like it was a loaded gun. I stopped sleeping. Every sound in the hallway turned sharp. Elevator ding, knife. Nybor Estor, knife. Pipes popping, knife. I'd jerk up and stare at my front door until my eyes burned. Then I'd check the lock and hate myself for checking the lock, and then check it again, because hating myself didn't make it safer. I called my ISP. The guy on the phone kept trying to steer it into, have you rebooted your router? Like I was complaining about slow Wi-Fi. I told him strangers had my address, and he sighed, like I'd made his shift worse. He offered to refresh my connection. I almost screamed. I hung up shaking and unplugged everything anyway. Router, PC, TV, smart speaker, even the stupid charger in the wall. I wanted my apartment to go dumb and quiet, like I could star the internet out. It didn't help. My phone still had service. My building still had cameras. My own face still existed. And the threads kept updating with people posting little Opie doing this comments that lined up too well with what I was actually doing. That night, they posted a photo of my building entrance from street level. No faces, just the lobby glass and the stupid little planter I walk past every day. They circled the door like it was a prize. People started arguing in the replies about which side of the building my unit was on. One guy was wrong, and another corrected him with a map pin. I sat there watching them fight over my life like sports fans, and it lit this hot rage under the fear. I wanted to jump into the thread and call them all pathetic, but I knew that's what they wanted. I tried making my place harder to touch. I jammed a chair under the doorknob, even though I knew that's movie bullshit. I put a strip of tape across the top of the door and the frame so I'd know if it opened. I stacked a couple glass bottles by the entrance like a cheap alarm. Then I hated myself again because I'd turned my home into a trap for a trapper. Around 2 a.m., I heard footsteps stop outside my door. Not passing by, stop. The building has this thin hallway carpet that muffles everything. So when someone pauses, you can feel it more than hear it. I held my breath, watching the tape line in the dark like it was a fuse. The knob didn't turn. No knock. Just a long quiet where I could swear I heard someone breathing through the crack. Then the elevator dinged at the end of the hall, and the footsteps moved away. I didn't sleep after that. I sat on the floor with my back against the couch until my legs went numb, staring at the door like it owed me answers. In the morning, the tape was still intact. The bottles were still standing. I almost felt stupid until I opened the thread again and saw a new comment. He's setting little traps, huh? My skin crawled. They shouldn't have known unless somebody saw inside, or somebody had been right there watching me do it. I tried dragging someone real into it. I called the building office and told them I needed the locks checked, that someone might have copied a key. The woman on the line sounded annoyed, like I was asking for a free upgrade. She said maintenance wasn't available for paranoia. I snapped back, told her to stop calling it that, told her people online were talking about my trash in my apartment. She went icy and told me if I felt unsafe, I should call the police. That was it. That was the help. Pass the buck. So I called the cops. Non-emergency. I kept my voice flat so they wouldn't hear how scared I was. The dispatcher asked if anyone had threatened me directly. I said they were posting my info and tracking me in real time. She asked if anyone was at my door right now. When I said no, her tone dropped into board procedure. File a report online. Document everything. Don't engage. Like I hadn't already tried, don't engage. Like fear obeys instructions. I argued with a friend too. I texted him screenshots and he replied with a laughing emoji. He said, "Just get off that site, dude." I called him and my voice came out nasty. I told him it wasn't about a site anymore. It was about somebody knowing where I sleep. He got defensive, said I was spiraling. I said, "Fuck you," and hung up. The second I did, the silence in my apartment felt heavier, like I'd sealed myself in. I took my trash out early just to kill the trash day thing. I double-bagged it, tied it tight, shoved it deep in the bin like that mattered. In the alley, I caught a guy standing near the fence. Hood up, phone held low like he was texting. When I looked at him, he didn't flinch, just kept staring at his screen. I waited for him to walk off. He waited for me to leave. I went back inside without dumping anything, and my hand shook so bad I dropped my keys twice. By the third night, I was doing patrols like a prison guard, checking windows, checking vents, holding my breath when footsteps passed in the hall. I'd stand by the peephole with my eye pressed to it until the metal made a ring around my socket. Nothing ever happened, which somehow made it worse. I started thinking that was the point. Make me watch the door until I cracked. The package showed up on Thursday afternoon. No knock, just a soft scrape against my welcome mat. I froze mid-step, listening. No retreating footsteps. No elevator. Just the building's stale air and that cardboard hush outside my door. I opened it with the chain still on, like that would stop anything. The hallway was empty. The box sat there neat and centered. No return address. No handwriting. Just taped seems like somebody took their time. I dragged it inside and locked up. My hands were sweating so hard the knife slipped the first time I tried to cut the tape. When the lid popped, I saw a cheap phone, already on, already recording. Little red dot blinking. Camera app open. The screen showed my living room from a corner angle I didn't own. At first my brain tried to deny it. I thought it was a still image, a prank photo. Then I moved, and my own body moved on the screen a beat later. Same shirt, same messy coffee table, same scuff on the wall by the kitchen. It wasn't a feed online. It was my room, right now, from inside my apartment. I spun in place. I looked up at the smoke detector, the vents, the shelf above the TV. I yanked cushions off the couch, tore through my closet, checked behind the shower curtain like I was hunting a snake. I pulled my fridge out far enough to see the dark gap behind it. I couldn't find anything. That was the sick part. Whatever was watching wasn't obvious. It was meant to stay. My throat tightened until swallowing hurt. I could hear my own heartbeat over the building noise. The phone kept recording. That tiny red dot kept blinking like a pulse. I did the dumbest thing because fear makes you stupid. I opened 4chan. I wanted proof I wasn't losing my mind. The thread was still there. The title had updated. He found it. I didn't scroll. I didn't read the replies. I didn't need to. That title told me everything. They weren't guessing. They were watching me react. They wanted me to know they were watching. I grabbed the phone and bolted. No juice. No wolit. I hit the stairwell door so hard it banged the frame. The concrete steps were cold under my feet, and my lungs burned like I'd been running for miles. And right as I dropped onto the first flight, I heard my door click behind me like someone had just let go of the handle.